Hello friends, welcome back to another exciting video on my YouTube channel. And today's video we are going to talk about most frequent interview question asked during DevOps or an SRE interview, and which is none other than GitRebase versus GitMerge. In today's video, we are going to basically individually touch base what is GitMerge, what is GitRebase, what are its benefits and drawbacks, and then finally we are going to have a demo session where I'm going to make you understand how the GitMerge works and how the GitRebase works. So without much further delay, let's get into the topic of today's video. So friends, let's first understand what is git merge. So git merge is the command that allows developers to merge the git branches while the logs of commit on the branches remain intact. What are its benefits? Better collaboration, easy code management. It's less or non-destructive. Nothing happens to the commit history of your branches. Easy to roll back. Since you have the commit history, you can easily go back, trace back, and identify where is the error or where is the conflict, and then you can roll back to that. Merge preserves the entire history in the chronological order, as I mentioned. The drawback of git merge, resolving the conflicts with merge, can be tricky as it brings all the commits from source at once, and this is tricky when you have lot of commits on your branches or and you have a very busy repository. So that time tracing back to see where exactly the conflict has happened and then work accordingly to mitigate that conflict. So that's what is the git merge. Now let's understand what is git rebase, and it's not scary command. As the git official doc states, reapply the commits on the top of another base step. Don't worry, I'm going to explain this in our demo session. This reapplies with this reapply will place all the commits on the current branch on top of the target branch. So that's what is the definition of the rebase. Don't worry, I'm going to explain you this in our demo session. Let's understand the benefits of Git rebase. The Git rebase streamlines a possible complex history. Git rebase cleans up the intermediate commits by turning them into a single commit, making life of DevOps and SRE engineers easy. Git rebase creates a streamlined, linear log. So that's what is the benefit of the git rebase. You will just have a one log rather than having multiple logs, which you can see in the git merge. Let's understand the drawbacks of it. Users can't track how and when commits were merged on the target branch. Since you have just one log, you can't trace back as when was that branch created, what commits were happened on that branch, and etc. But which you can easily trace back when you use the git merge. But every command has its benefits and the drawbacks. And second drawback of the git rebase is never use rebase on public branch. It rewrites the commit history and requires push, which would be provided on the public branch. Since your repository, since you are having a public repository or your repository is public, it is not advisable to use the rebase. You can use the rebase when you are working on your own directory. So that's what is the drawback of get rebase. Now, since we have understand from the theoretical perspective what is get rebase, what is git merge, since the purpose of both commands are to make sure that you have a proper commit history, or I would say you maintain the logs of your commits. So now understand, let's get into the a demo session where it would give you a clear picture of how these commands behave when you execute. So without much further delay, let's get into our demo session. But before we get into that, if you are new to this YouTube channel, I basically try to share my experience through this channel on DevOps tools like Ansible, Jenkins, Git, um, Terraform, as well as I try to share the experience of how to get yourself certified AWS associate or a fundamental Google Cloud associate, Azure fundamentals, and data fundamental certificates. So do take some time and watch my playlist. And if you find it has really added a value to your skills, do subscribe it and share with your friends. So now, much further delay, let's get into the demo session of these two commands. So friends, I'm going to basically use the learn git branching.js.org website to explain the demo of GitMerge and GitRebase. Don't worry if you're not familiar with this site. This site gives you an opportunity to get your hands on the Git command starting from the basic commands up to the advanced topics as well. So let's, without much further delay, let's get to the our main topic, which is a demo of GitMerge. So right now, if you see on my screen, I have a commit C1 and my main is pointing to the C1. So how can I check which branch I am? So there is a command called as git branch, and it says that right now I am on the main branch. If I execute git log, I get the details that there was a commit on April 28, 10:59, whatever it is, and that's what it is. If I do the git status, it gives us you are on the main branch and changes to be committed and ready to commit. So now let's create a branch called as a feature branch or a bug fix branch where I want to introduce the new features and make it available to my users. But before that, I'm going to basically clone my repository onto my local desktop or on a development environment, work on that, and then finally I'm going to merge my features to the main branch so that it can be available to the users. So now for creating a feature branch or a bug fix branch, you need to basically execute a command called as git branch, and let's give a name ufeed40. The moment I do that, you see a branch called as u40 is created. And if I execute the command main, I execute the git branch, still we are pointing to the main branch. You see the asterisk in front of it. Now I want to move to my feature branch. What is the command I'm going to use is git checkout u5040. The moment I type that, uh, you see and execute a git branch, my asterisk sign has now moved to u feed40, which is none another than but our feature branch. Now let's do some commits on that. So I'm executing git commit f1. Okay, and I see now I have a new commit which is there in my feature branch, right? Let's do one more commit all has F2. Okay, and I have another commit called has C3 on my feature branch. But when I go to the main branch, I see some of my colleagues have already already merged their fixes, and now there is a new commit on the main branch, which we call it as a C4. And if I do git branch, it is now pointing to the main branch. Now the question is, I want to integrate my changes into the main branch so that it is available to the users in the production and the code is aligned to the master branch. And that's what is our purpose, right? So Now, to do that, what I'm going to do is I am going to basically execute a command called as merge. And the moment I execute the merge, you will see my my code changes in the future branch has been now incorporated to the master branch or a main branch, or it has been merged. That's what. So we are basically merging the two branches through a knot, and you will see a new commit called as a merge commit, which can be a C file, and that's what the merge command does. So the moment I type git merge ufit 40, okay, you see my changes are now integrated to the main or a master branch, and I have a new commit called as C5, and that is called as the, you can term that as the merge commit, or you can call it as a future commit, whatever, but this C5 now has the changes of our C4 as well as C2 and C3. Now, if we look at the log, you will see a canonical log, uh, chronicle log, in a chronological order commits. So first we were having a C1. From C1 we created we created a future branch, we checked out it, and then we did a commit C2. In the future branch, we did a commit of C1, and you can see F2. But then we went to our main branch, and we saw that one of your colleague or team member has already incorporated its changes to the main branch, and it has M1, and now you want to make sure that you are incorporating that changes as well as your feature changes. So what we did is we execute the git merge command, where it says the merge branch you 40 into the main branch, and that is C file. So that's what it that's what it is, and it's called as a fast forwarding kind of thing. uh, when I execute, and so that's what is the merge concepts, where you are merging your changes to the master branch to make sure everything is aligned with the updated changes which has happened in the main branch, as uh, kind of thing. So if I do the git branch, I'm into the main thing, and if I go to git status, it says you are on the main branch, changes to be committed, and now then you can start working on it. So if I execute one more commit, it would be created from here, and now my main branch is pointing to the another commit, which is C6, and now I want to again integrate that to that. So what I will do is git merge 40, which you will see the branch is already up to date. So that means my feature changes, or whatever the changes I've done in my future branch, those are already updated into the main branch. So that's what is the git merge, helps you to merge the two branches with a knot called as merge commit or a feature commit, whatever you want to give it. So that's what was the demo of the merge command. And now, without much further delay, let's understand the concept of GitRebase to give you the proper understanding as what has happened. So let me just copy this, and let me just keep this open, and in a moment I will open another window where I will walk through the GitRebase, and then we will check what is in the git log of GitRebase versus what you see the git log of merge. So friends, let's quickly have a demo of Rebase to get an understanding what happens when you execute the rebase on your working directory. So we already have a C1 commit on our main branch. Let me quickly create our feature branch called as U5060. Let's just give that. And now I will do a git switch. You can use git switch or a git checkout to move the head to the U50, which is U60, which is our feature branch. And now my head on my asterisk sign is pointing to that. How can you check? Git branch. Right now, let's do quick commits here. Okay, so I've done a commit. I have done two commits on my future branch. Okay, in the meantime, when I went to the main branch, okay, I see someone has already done the commits on the main branch, right? And I want to now use that feature in my feature branch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically make sure that always my feature branch is always pointing to the latest changes what has happened on the main branch, right? So for that, I'm going to basically use the rebase so that I move my changes of the future to the main branch or the master branch, which has an updated commits. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically first switch to the feature branch. Okay, make sure you always execute the rebase on your working directory, not on the master or the main branch, because it will rewrite the commit history, right? Which we don't want that to happen, right? So now let's execute the git rebase main. And moment I do that, you see the C2 and C3 commits are now pointing to the latest commit on the main branch of or a master branch, which is C4, that is on the tip of the target branch, right? And now I have the linear structure. And if one thing you notice, there was a no new merge commit or a feature commit created, which was created uh, in the merge when we executed the merge thing. And if you see here, that's what was the new merge commit created. But in the rebase, that was not there. It had just duplicated the C2 commits and C3 on the tip of the target branch, which is the main. Now, if I look at the log, you will see I have C1, then I have C2, C3, and finally I have the latest commit of the main branch, which is C4. But if you see in the merge, um, I have the uh, commits from the feature branch where I have a commit history of F1, F2, and M1. So it is all in the sequential order, right? But here, that sequential order is missed. You just have one commit which is updated, and now that's where the difficulty arises, right? So tomorrow, if you want to basically you got a rebase conflict or kind of thing, you need to trace back and you need to fix that before even doing the rebase execution. But with the merge, since you have already the history of what is happening, it becomes easier to resolve the conflict. But the DevOps engineers or the SRE engineers prefer the linear approach where they just have one commit rather than having the history of those commits. And this is possible when you are having when when to use git merge or when to use the git rebase when your repos are not much busy or they are small. You use git merge because it's easy to maintain the commit history and other stuff. But since you have the big repositories where you do every week releases and kind of thing, and you want to make sure that you just avoid having the multiple commit history, just have one commit, that's where you use the rebase. So that's what is the short and sweet description of, I would say, the git rebase versus the git merge. And I hope it will help you to understand these concepts through this video. If you really like this video, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave a comment, and do not forget to hit a bell icon to get notified whenever I upload such videos on my YouTube channel. Until then, take care. Bye bye.